I need the permission to record. I don't have permission to record.
All right, yeah, man, you're all set.
All right. Sorry. So let us go. There we go.
Camille the boss, come first class.
Okay, another episode of the things I wish I knew about money. I am your host, Camille Smith.
And I'm your co-host, your boy Dre. And we're super excited today. We have two very special guests with us that's going to be sharing a wealth of knowledge. So we are
Yes.
super excited.
I think I'm more excited because I'm not the only lady that is on right now, and we're finally having women to shine on the podcast, and especially because we're internationally known, even more because we're in Jamaica, where we like to call it paradise, or I would say my second home. So, ladies, it's a pleasure.
And we see Paulette with a piece of paradise in the background there.
I
So.
know. It's a lovely paradise. So please, ladies, for our episode 25, please introduce yourselves.
Okay, so I am Paulette Bedward, a realtor with Sagicor Property Services Limited. I must say, I'm sure Andre is not aware of this, but I'm actually a pharmacist by profession.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I've got two full-time jobs. I actually work now with a pharmaceutical company here in Jamaica, and I work as a
Nice.
medical rep with the company.
Nice.
And I'm
Good
chanting a
stuff.
realtor and a pharmacist.
Yeah, I guess we were sharing the good news for the podcast. I didn't know that, but congrats, definitely good stuff.
Congratulations. And Ingrid, would you be
And-
able to?
Certainly. My name is Ingrid Wood, Manager Mortgage Sales and Services, Sagicor Bank. I've been in banking for over 30 years.
Nice,
And it's something that I have a passion about.
Nice.
nice. So you definitely have a ton of knowledge to
Yes,
share with us
I think
today. That's
so.
good. Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's going to be exciting. So we have many things to talk about now.
Yeah, and I remember we were talking earlier before, Camille, and you're mentioning that we now have listeners from Russia, all the way from Russia. So big up the Russians in the house, and that's super exciting.
Yes.
And yeah, we've surpassed our number. We are now at 1126 listeners and growing. So that's
Yes.
really good. The things I wish I knew about money, doing great stuff.
We really appreciate everyone. And now that we're on YouTube, now we're getting even more views and listens and
Yeah.
a lot of recognition. So it's an honor. It's absolutely an honor. So
Yeah,
what we gonna
definitely.
talk about? What is the reason for lovely Paulette and Ingrid here today?
I'll tell you, like, I've been searching for a property in Jamaica for a long while.
Mhm.
And when they say godsend, I feel like that's how I would describe Paulette. I've gone on all these websites trying to find a realtor that can guide me through the process, and I've let's say I've never had like the best experience until I met Paulette, somebody who actually cares and just walk you through the process. I felt like I was talking with a friend, and she was just so caring, and she was just always quick to help. And I'm like, no man, she's special. I think she needs to come and talk to
Nice.
people so that more people can know about her and can know about the process. And so I was so delighted when she said yes, she wanted to be a part of the podcast. So
Yay.
Paulette and Ingrid, and I believe Ingrid gave me a shout out too one time through Sagicor website. So two very beautiful women who are doing great work to help people become homeowners. And so they are here today to walk us through that process, to share with us, right?
Okay.
And
Ooh,
I'm super excited.
me too. So let's see.
It's a
So,
pleasure to be on. And thank you very much for having us.
Nice.
yeah, so like, yeah, go ahead, Camille.
Well, I guess like what was why did you ladies choose the path that you chose, especially with real estate in Jamaica?
Ingrid, you want to
Let me
go first?
international know.
Well, certainly my path started from in banking. When I was 6, I walked into a bank and I said, "Mommy, this is where I would love to work."
Nice.
And when I was 18,
Mhm.
I wrote and I finished studying,
Mhm.
and I sent out my applications. And
Nice.
only one response I got for that same bank and the same branch. So
Wow.
I was meant to be in banking.
You definitely
Absolutely.
were.
Yes, I
Definitely
was meant
were.
to be in banking.
Wow. That's
Definitely were.
amazing.
And I've been in most areas in banking, and now I'm in mortgage. And what I find with the mortgage is that everyone wants to own their home.
Mhm.
And the persons who live here and persons who are abroad, Jamaicans abroad, and even persons who are non-Jamaican, they want a piece of this beautiful rock.
Of
And so
course.
an
Yes.
absolute pleasure to be able to assist them in this process.
Nice. Nice.
Wonderful. And I cannot help but notice. So I think everybody has a beautiful background, but what I love, Ingrid, is that Afro doll in the background.
Oh, yes,
I
yes.
can't help but
Yes.
notice.
Jamaican.
Jamaican.
Yes.
She's Patwa.
Oh, it's a Patois doll? Okay,
Yes,
wow, nice. Look at that. That's good. I need to get
yes.
more of those.
A true Jamaican.
Real Jamaican, Yadi from birth. And
Need to
Paulette,
know
what
where to
about
get
you?
it.
Like,
Okay, well, for me, it's actually a disappointment that led me into real estate.
interesting.
Yes. So there, I was purchasing a property before.
Mhm.
It's a
Mhm.
home that I really, really, really loved. Went through all the rigmaroles, working with another agent, going through lawyer, having valuation done, surveyor's report done, and everything fell through.
Mhm.
It fell through. I was crushed, crushed,
Wow.
crushed,
Yes.
crushed. And
Yeah.
throughout that, I just one morning while praying, the Lord said, "Go into real estate." And
Mhm.
that's how I entered the market, started my courses, and I'm here. It's just a love that I have for people
Mhm.
and using
Mhm.
my past experiences and just guiding other persons along. So
Yeah.
I tend to sell myself, put myself in their position. So it's easy for me to relate to individuals. I tend to get to know who you are, what you are looking for, and
Right.
help you to connect you with that perfect match.
Amazing. And honestly, I feel like that interpersonal skill piece is so important because a lot of the times you're working with a realtor and you feel like they're just there for the commission.
Yeah.
But I felt like you were there because you actually cared, like you wanted me to have the best outcome.
Yes.
And I think that makes
Yes.
a
Yes.
big
Makes a
difference,
difference.
you know?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, I was working with another partner agent, and
Mm-hmm.
she was explaining to me that she was working with a client, and the client had a terrible experience with a previous realtor. And I said, "Listen, I can't take on this client now. My plate is full, and I know I'm not going to be able to give the client the attention that she so deserves." And the
Mm-hmm.
person said, "Paulette, I just begging you, just give her that Paulette experience."
The politics. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure that made a big difference.
Oh
That
Made
must
a
have
my.
made a
big
big difference.
difference.
Uh,
So, so that's
yeah.
what I sell, the Paulette
The
experience.
pilot experience. I'm pretty sure you've worked hard over the years to create that pilot effect,
Definitely.
and it's definitely a good thing. So, Ingrid, like I know, like right now, like I think everyone is so worried about COVID and whether or not it is a good time to be investing in real estate. I know here in Canada, the market has been pretty crazy. Like it's going up like wildfire. Like, what is the market like in Jamaica right now in terms of real estate?
It is booming. It,
Oh, really?
yes, it is booming. We thought, I know Paulette and I really would have thought that we would have had a challenge with COVID, but we have no challenge.
Mhm.
And so to tell you, Sagicor Bank has done a development called the Azalea, and our properties have been going as hot bread. So there is absolutely no issue with our market. Persons are ready to buy. They recognize that real estate is one of those investments that they can never lose. And particularly in Jamaica, the appreciation of our real estate in very short period of time is amazing. And so it is very important that persons who are able to buy can come and talk with us.
Nice.
Paulette will look the property and we will give you the mortgage at Sagicor Bank. And
right. And Sagicor Bank is a trusted bank as well.
It is.
Yeah. I know of Sagicor growing up, and you know, like I've always heard great things about Sagicor, and I've always had good experience working with Sagicor, so I can attest.
Yes.
And what's the appreciation? Like, how much has it risen in the last, let's say, 5 years?
Paulette, you want to take that?
Just so, yes, I will. All right, so just to backtrack, the real estate market, as Ingrid said, it remains resilient, very resilient despite the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
And in the corporate area, the multifamily dwellings, such as your apartment buildings, your townhouse complexes, as Ingrid mentioned before, Sagicor did a development, the Azaleas, all our apartments are sold out, and these went for $298,000 US. That translates about 40-something million Jamaican dollars for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments, and all those units are sold out. We're currently on the market already.
Wow.
We are currently on the market, and the development is not fully handed over as yet. We still have about 2-3 months left to go.
Yeah.
We have townhouses now. The townhouses are 3-bed, 3.5 bathroom, and are selling for starting price $550,000 US.
Wow, that sounds like don't Toronto real estate market. Those are some Toronto prices there.
It is. Jeez. OMG.
In a little Jamaica.
In a little Jamaica. So the apartment is located, and the development is located in the Golden Triangle.
Okay.
In the Golden Triangle. So hence those properties tend to command a high price.
Yeah.
So for us more frugal individuals, is there any areas that are a little below?
We will get to that shortly.
I just gotta cater to everyone, right?
I know. So we'll get to there. I just want to point out that the apartments, the townhouses are going up. Construction is booming. What you have now is a lot of developers buying the single family houses and putting up multi-family dwellings.
Okay.
I see. In Havendale, in the Meadowbrook area, in the Mona area, where you have a single family unit with large land space, the developers going in, buying those properties, knocking them down, and put up an apartment that can host 20, 30, 40 families.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean that makes sense. Investment wise, that's perfect. So
Correct. Yes. So back to your question, for the lower end of the market, what you find is a lot of persons, say middle income, lower middle, are priced out of certain areas, such as the Golden Triangle. But there are other areas that they can consider, such as Portmore, the St. Catherine area, Portmore, Spanish Town, Duane Park. So there are still housing opportunities available for persons at the lower income.
What about Portland? That's where my family's from.
Yes,
so that's where my family's from. So want to stay close.
I love Portland. And all right, so yeah.
And with mortgage rates are now at an all-time low. So you find that persons are really in the market shopping for homes, both first-time homeowners and persons
Right.
looking for investment properties.
And I was about to actually get on that point. Like, so I'm here, I'm in Toronto, or I'm in New York, or I'm in the UK, or Russia. We see we have people from Russia, and I want to buy a property in Jamaica. So I'm gonna ask Paulette to walk me through what I need prior, what documents, what kind of things that I'll need from a realtor perspective, and then I'll ask Ingrid to let me know, or let the listeners know, what
Yeah.
I'd need from a mortgage approval perspective if I wanted to get a mortgage.
Before you ladies start, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you take some notes.
Well, they're going to
Take
give their
some notes.
and they're going to give their contacts so that people can
Yes.
get in touch, definitely, if they have
Absolutely.
additional questions.
Because I'm ready.
All right. So you want to buy a home here in Jamaica.
Yes.
The absolute first thing is to get pre-approved. And Ingrid will touch on that. So what your pre-approval does, it signals to realtors that you are serious. You're not just window shopping.
Right.
So you have sourced the necessary financing to cover the cost of your property.
That is true.
All right. So the first thing is to become pre-approved for that mortgage.
Okay.
You need
and you'll
to
need
have
that pre-approval from Ingrid,
From
which
me,
she'll touch
yes.
on, right?
From Ingrid, correct.
Right. So,
Correct.
So what do
Sure
you need in order to be pre-approved? First and foremost, we offer 80% financing. So we finance 80% and we go for 25 years for non-residents. What you would require is, do you have your pen and paper? I'm sure persons have their pen and paper ready, and they'll be able to contact me. We would need your last 2 years W-2 forms. That is the summary of your income for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
We also need the last 2 years tax returns. We will
so
need.
and sorry, Ingrid, that W-2 is for people in the US,
Yes.
I assume, right? So what would be the equivalency for like other countries? Like, what would a W-2 translate into?
Okay, great. A W-2 translates into your pay slips, a summary of your pay for the yes. So, for example, those countries who do not have W-2 form, you could get a letter from your employer that summarizes your income for the last 2 years.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Right. And if you do have tax returns, the last 2 years tax return along with your last pay slip. We would also need a credit bureau report from the country where you are at. Yes, and your TRN, very important, your taxpayer registration number. I know, for example, those persons who have been living abroad for a little while and do not have their TRN or the taxpayer registration number, they can get that online from tax admin.
And that's a TRN. It's similar to like your social insurance number in the US. Right.
It is. Yes, it's similar to your social security. But if you're here in Jamaica, in addition to your social security, we do not necessarily take your social security here in Jamaica, but we have the TRN is what we would need. So whether you are a resident, non-resident, or a Jamaican, because Jamaicans living abroad can apply, but even if you are not Jamaican, you can get it. Foreigners can get taxpayer registration number, because you would need that in order to purchase a property here in Jamaica. That is an essential part of the document.
All right. I was just about to ask that if I wasn't a resident, if I could still get that TRN. So that's good that you clarify. And where do we get, where would I get this TRN, you said?
Okay, so you go onto our tax admin Jamaica website.
Okay.
Yes. And what you would do, you'll let them know that you're applying. So the website will direct you to where the TRN application is, a taxpayer registration application, and you will complete that application form, and you'll send it in, you'll email it in to submit it, and they will give you a number within a day. You will get
very
that.
sophisticated.
Yes,
Nice.
it is. And what we will do is, in addition to that, so you would have had your taxpayer registration number, your last pay slip. You would have given us a credit report from overseas, And also the final document that you would need is a printout of your salary. I'm sure most of us are getting direct deposits, right? That's how we're paying direct deposit. Yes.
Right.
So we'll look at the last 6 months of that.
Okay.
And that's what we'd need for a pre-approval. So the pre-approval would be for you to get your letter, so you can take it to Paulette and she will locate the property. Okay. After the property is located, then there are additional documents that you would be required to take in. So I'll allow Paulette to look for the property now, and then I'll come back to tell you what the documents are required when you have located the property.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
With the credit bureau, what's the what is the ideal number?
Okay.
Good question. Yeah.
That's very important. Well, for us in Jamaica, we don't look at ideal number.
Okay.
What we look at is how you have met your obligations so far. So when we look at your credit report, if you have met your obligations without a challenge, then that is okay. We don't look at scores, because scores can be affected by how many times you pull a credit report. So we wouldn't want you to be at a disadvantage for that. So we'll totally look at how
you see, that's why I love Jamaica, you know. You know, foreign them now, them sitting there, you know, them the business board that are foreign, you know.
Yes. So as long as you have a good credit history, that is it.
See, now people will be able to invest in stuff.
Yes.
So anyone that wants to, they don't want to stay in Toronto because of all the madness, there's other options.
Right,
elsewhere.
Nice and warm.
Many persons are coming here to work from home. So those persons who are on work from home now, they come and they reside in Jamaica. And they're buying property.
Come here, getting some thoughts there.
Paulette is confirming that. Yeah. So nobody don't have to know that you're here.
Exactly. Just to everyone, all my clients, don't get mad if you see me.
Yeah, exactly. Just make sure it's when you're doing the next podcast, Camille, it's in front of a KC or jerk stand. So you see the jerk chicken.
Or I'll take a photo of my room and just say like, yeah, I'm still in Toronto. Yeah.
Just bring your paint in there in the background. And,
exactly.
So, all right, Paulette. So what I want you to do for us is in your definition of the word, because I can give you my definition, which I mean, it will be beautiful, but tell us what that Paulette effect is, because I'm not going to be straight up with you. The Paulette effect, they make a big difference. I've worked with many realtors in Jamaica. I think probably like about 7 before I actually landed with you.
Oh.
And it's like, I don't want to use nobody else. So in your words, tell us what the Paulette effect is.
Oh my, I can only tell what the clients have.
All right.
Well, before I move on, regarding what do you need, we mentioned pre-approval. I also want to point out that you definitely have to have your deposit ready. So if you're looking to purchase property, ensure that you are saving up for your deposit, and Ingrid will touch more about the other fees that are associated, and then I'll also touch more on that. All right, so having me as your realtor, first, I tend to connect with my clients. So I get an idea of exactly what you are looking for, what you want, so I can meet you at that point. I'll work through, arrange viewing appointments. I remember when Andre got in touch with me, as you know, he's in Canada. So first question, who do you have as your local representative that can do these viewings for you? And he said, yes, I have someone. Next thing I want to know the number for this person. Who is this person? So I can call and work through with them. So I'm very, 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 I tend to get very, how do I say, connected to my clients and who their representatives are. I help in selecting the ideal property for you. A property may come up, and as I see the property, I'm like, okay, this looks like it will fit this person. And I said, all right, let's go have a look at this. All right. So I help in selecting the ideal property, assist in negotiating the best price. Sometimes the valuation report may come out a little bit less than, and I have to go as in between, work with the seller's representative to say, all right, we really needed to come down on this price. Now, monitor the transaction from beginning to end. So after we find that property, submit the offer gets accepted. I'm with you from the start to closing. I'm checking how are things going, what's happening. I keep in touch with the clients right throughout the process. If there's a surveyor's ID report that needs scheduling, that needs done, I schedule the appointment. I'll even go with the valuer, ensure that everything, they're smooth. The process is very smooth for my clients.
Yeah, and I can totally attest to all of that. And sorry, I feel like in some cases too, Paulette becomes the lawyer. I'm gonna be honest, like there are times when Paulette is like, has your lawyer done this as yet? And I'm like, no, like he hasn't done it. And then she's like, give me 1 minute. And then I will tell her, like, she connects all the dots. And you know, sometimes through this process, you just feel like dots are just popping up that you never expect. And some of the dots, they're just floating away, but Paulette is just there to bring all those dots together. Yes. And you know, I'm not making any of this up. It's been my experience, and I've connected her with other people, and those people, they've had good experiences as well. So definitely want to connect with Paulette, and she works with Sagicor, right? And Ingrid is at Sagicor. I tell her, Sagicor is an incredible place. And you can see from the people who work there, right?
So now that you have located the property, Paulette will tell you, will send you back to me. And the first thing that I would want you to do for us, that property is located, is for evaluation to be done. I know Paulette spoke on it just a little. The evaluation is very important because that is really what we lend against. Well, we lend against the law of the valuation or purchase price. So we lend the law of the two. Okay. What we find is that it is our hope that the valuation is more than the purchase price. So if that is the case, you would not need to put in any additional deposits because you'd have made your deposit of 20% for persons who are non-resident. And we would want to ensure that the valuation report is higher. So we normally suggest to you that you do a valuation prior to making a deposit. That will help to make the process very smooth. And when you have a valuation report in hand and the property is in order, so the valuation is what would tell us if the property is in order and it is something that is worth purchasing, then we ask you also to do a surveyor's ID report. Now, what is a surveyor's ID report? It looks at the boundaries. We ensure that the property is within the boundary of the law, right? Of the title that the property, that the title of the property, we want to ensure that the boundaries are met. So that's the purpose of a surveyor's ID report. When we have that, then it is time, when those two documents are in, then it is time for you to sign the sale agreement. And when the agreement of sale is signed, then we move forward to getting the mortgage approved. Because remember, we had done a pre-approval, now we're moving into approval. One of the things I know, Paulette touched on it a little bit, an attorney, we normally suggest that you use an attorney because in the process, anything can happen and we want to ensure that there's someone else representing you. I know Paulette and Sagicor will be representing you because we look at the interests of our client and we'll guide you, but we certainly would want you to have an attorney that will be able to ensure that the transaction is going as planned, and also to review the sale agreement to ensure that it is in keeping with what you want and in your best interest. And as when we get the mortgage approved, then we'll move on now to things like the fees. Now, what we normally suggest, and I mean,
nobody likes the fees.
Nobody likes fees, but remember now that we're talking about Canadian dollars and you know, US dollars and so on. What happened? We normally encourage you to have saved approximately 20% of the purchase price. No, the 20% would be 10% for your deposit, 20% for your deposit in this case because you're overseas, and another 5 to 10% for your fees. So that would be 30% for persons who are non-resident. So you would have that, and we would
May
normally
calculate.
ask you to have that in your account.
I think the 20% I think in
Yes.
Canadian, I think it works out to about 20,000 Canadian or somewhere thereabout.
Okay.
Well, depending on the price of the
Depending on
property that you buy.
the
Right. If it's like a
property,
24 million property.
right.
Yeah.
And so once you have your funds in your account and you're ready, then we move to the process of getting it approved. And once it is approved, then it is smooth sailing. We issue a letter of undertaking. What that is, it is an undertaking, a commitment that Sagicor will pay once your name is registered on the property.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so that process usually takes about 3 weeks. The entire process from start to finish can take our mandate at Sagicor is 45 days for the issuance of the letter of undertaking, and then another 2 or 3 weeks before there is disbursement.
You literally answered the question that I was going to ask. Thank you. Nice.
So the undertaking is issued, and then the vendor's attorney, that is the person who you're purchasing the property from, their attorney will get the title together, and they will send it over to our attorney, the bank's attorney, and the process will take place. There are some cases where if the property you're purchasing, and that is something that we normally help you with when we get the valuation. That's why the valuation is important, because the valuation will guide us as to whether there is a lien on the property, meaning the property has been pledged to another institution. When we issue the letter of undertaking, the lender's attorney would now have to ensure that that lien is discharged, so that your name can be registered on the property, because that lien would have been in favor of the purchaser. And that is where sometimes the process takes a little more time, because the vendor's attorney would have to send that to another institution for it to be discharged. But failing that, it is still a simple process depending on the institution, and we should be you should be here in your beautiful home by the sea in a matter of 50 to 60 days. 90 days the most. Yeah.
Life. That's life. And what about insurance? Will I be required to get any type of insurance?
Certainly. All right. So when a property is being purchased, there's one insurance, and that is a part of the fee. So in this case, it would be about 30%, 20% equity or your deposit, and 10% would be inclusive of all the fees that are there. Included in that fee is a peril insurance. Now, the peril insurance is in the event of an earthquake, yes, or damage, natural disaster, damage to the property, then that insurance will cover the replacement cost of the property. Right? So insurance is only for the replacement cost. What that is the cost to rebuild the property.
Okay.
And then another insurance that is critical, it is optional, but we at Sagicor and most of our financial institutions in Jamaica is tending towards making it it is approved with it. We encourage it strongly. That is what we call a mortgage insurance. In the event of death, the loan dies with you. So you have your family, whether your personal family or siblings and so on, parents, and unfortunately you die, then while the mortgage is still before it matures, then what will happen is that amount will pay the bank, and your property will be free and clear to be left to whomever you would have decided to be left. So that's a very important.
Definitely.
Yes, because we want to ensure that our clients, their family are protected in the event of death. And so the mortgage insurance is critical.
Definitely.
That can be in the form of what is called a creditor life, or it can be a monthly, a term insurance, a monthly insurance, life insurance that is there. If you do have an insurance here in Jamaica, we can use that.
Okay.
Yes, we can use one if one exists, but it has to be here in Jamaica. If it doesn't exist here, then we will just give you an insurance from Sagicor Life, because as we say, we have everything right here. So Sagicor Life will take, one-stop shop. Sagicor Life will take care of that need for you.
Nice.
And what, ladies, what about Airbnb? Because I think, like for me and for a lot of other people, if I purchase that beautiful property in Jamaica, I'll want to use it when I come there, but maybe when I'm not there, I'd probably want to Airbnb that property. Is there a market for that, and how does that work?
Paulette, you want to take that?
Yes, I'll take that one. So, right, since the pandemic started, we realized that there is a downturn for the Airbnb properties. In the real estate sector, we have now, I would say, an oversupply of regular rental properties that were previously being used for Airbnb purposes, and they're now in the general rental pool. Airbnb is still a good option. The market is showing some, with vaccine and the persons not being allowed to travel, we have a greater demand now for the Airbnb properties. I think you're asking, since you're overseas, what plans are in place to oversee your property while here in Jamaica? Right. With the advent of technology, it's pretty easy to monitor your property, your premises while you are here in Jamaica. You can put up your surveillance cameras outside your property to see what's happening. You can log on to your computer, your phone, you see what's happening. For the doors, you can use access codes. So each guest will have a code to enter the building. We have a lot of cleaning companies here in Jamaica, and even local individual cleaning persons that we can connect you with. So whenever a guest checks out, so you can schedule the cleaning company to go in and ensure that it's prepared for the next.
Okay,
guest.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And Andre, we also have a property management unit as well, Paulette. Yes.
That
unit, yes, will manage.
It come like me have to come get a job at Sagicor. Come in, we have to send in the resume.
So, in addition to what Paulette has said, we can actually just manage the property. So you purchase it and you give us the key. We will find the tenant, and usually, the tenants that we normally Sagicor properties services and the Sagicor property management services, they're able to get are those who are like expatriate that are living here in Jamaica and living and working here in Jamaica from a lot of our larger companies. And those are the kind of rental that we can get for you. So we encourage you, and we will take care of everything. You will just sit where you are in Canada and just collect.
That's the life, man.
Yes.
One thing, just to add for where Ingrid, we do offer property management, but we do it on large scale. So primarily for the commercial properties. So your malls, your multi-unit commercial buildings, we offer property management for those. But for individual Airbnb properties, we can locate the perfect tenant. If it's long-term, we'll do our background checks, and as Ingrid said, we can provide expats as your tenants. However, for Airbnb, the individual units will connect you with someone.
All right.
That's some good stuff. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think it is a lot clearer now, because I think the idea of buying something overseas can be scary for some people.
Yes.
And I think both of you did a fantastic job at explaining and making us feel comfortable to know that we can actually invest in Jamaica while being elsewhere. So that's really good. So what are three things that you wish you knew earlier, either about real estate or just investing or money in general? Like, what are three things that you wish you knew earlier? And I'm putting a question to both of you.
Yes.
Ingrid?
Yes, certainly. Boy, I would have wished that somebody had told me when I was doing my first mortgage that I would have somebody to sit with me and walk me through the process, what to expect and so on. And also I would have wished somebody would have told me at that time, Ingrid, buy as much property as you can, because the appreciation is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Some time ago, one of your colleagues, Paulette, we were on a presentation similar to this, and she was sharing with us that she purchased her property in Long Mountain. Now, Long Mountain, for those of us who are online, is it's above Beverly Hills, right? In the stadium. That's the stadium person. So you can stay in the National Stadium and look across on the hill. and you will see the properties. She
Mhm.
said she bought it in 2000 for 5 million, and now it
Wow.
is valued at 50 million.
Woo.
So if
Whoa.
somebody had told me that, Andre and Camille, I
Mhm.
would have run because I would have seen the benefit of real estate.
Right.
We have
Yeah.
people right here in Jamaica who are able to sell their homes
Mhm.
and buy properties, 2 or so properties, because of the price of the homes that they're selling. So I'm here to say, if you need property, this is the place to come. This appreciate like nowhere else in the world in terms of
Mhm.
property appreciation in Jamaica. So
Nice.
that is one of the things that I would have loved to hear. So I would have loved to get that discussion earlier, and I would
Yeah.
have loved to hear about how real estate can make money for you. Also, I would have loved to have heard from someone to say this is a way to get cash flows
Mhm.
because
Definitely.
of rental income. Yes,
Mhm.
certainly.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I would have also wanted somebody to say, Ingrid, as soon as the property matures, as it gets, if you have had the mortgage for a little while and the mortgage has been paid down, you can utilize the equity in the property to buy other properties.
Nice.
Yes, so that is what I would have liked somebody to have told me.
That's some
And I'm
really good
telling you all
information.
of that now for you to come on out and let us know, when you'd want to invest with us.
All right. That's some really
Mhm.
good
Those are
information there,
some
Ingrid.
gems.
Yeah,
Those are
definitely.
some big gems. Oof. Oh my gee. And Paulette.
Right. So I've been blessed with relatives who mentioned or drilled it in me from early that real estate is one of the surest ways to acquire wealth.
Okay.
So I stayed home with parents probably for the first 2, 3 years after leaving college and started working. So I didn't go out and started paying rent. I was at home saving up for my deposit to purchase my first property. So I
Mhm.
started out in the real estate market buying in my own pretty early. So I'm
Nice.
grateful for that. So looking back, I can't say I wish I had. I don't really have much. So right now it's more about me helping others
Mhm.
to to make that big move, make that big step.
Right.
Yes. And my advice though to persons is set real estate targets. For me, this year I want 2 properties for the year.
Mhm.
You acquire one property, that property, as Ingrid said, you can access the equity in that property to purchase your second property. From the
Right,
second
right.
property, you can rent it out. Your rental income is a source of income. From the money
Yes.
Right.
going through the account, the banks will use that as income generating capital. And you can
Mhm.
use it to get your third property.
Wow.
Nice. Nice, nice.
And
Nice.
I love, Paulette, how you mentioned that when you just finished college, you stayed at home a little to save up because I think what happens is a lot of, like, even here in Toronto, a lot of people are, by age 18, they just want to
The more
get,
them own place.
yeah, they're like, no, I want to leave and pay rent. And why not, um, you know, bear sometimes with what our parents, because sometimes it clashes. But if you're able to set a realistic goal and save up that cash and or money or those coins and just be able to get a property, that's more ideal, and that's how we create generational wealth,
Exactly.
Yeah,
really. So
definitely.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, no,
You
that's
know?
that's definitely incredible. So I Camille, I don't know if you have I think we've covered, some
Everything.
very important, yeah, definitely
I
some
know.
important. So how do we get in touch with
Yes.
Paulette and Ingrid? Because I think both of you should now become the property ambassador for international clients, right? So
Yes.
Paulette will walk you through that process and make sure say you get the best property, and Ingrid are gonna make sure say your mortgage get approved and thing. So how do
Great.
we get in contact with both of you?
Okay.
Right.
Uh,
Yes.
All right, so I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at pauletteb.realtor. That's PAULETTE My contact number is 876-823-1545. You can shoot me an email at paulette_bedward@sagicor.com.
Awesome.
All right, good stuff.
And everyone that's not in Jamaica,
Yeah.
you got to put +1 if you're gonna
Yes.
call
Plus
her.
one, yes, yes.
Yes,
And
yes.
perhaps we can share the contact information in the
Absolutely.
chat
In the
so we
chat.
can put it under the video as well.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
I am Ingrid_Wood at sagicor.com. And my number is 1-876-0549-0380. I will share it in the chat. And I'm the
Awesome.
manager I am the mortgage manager at Sagicor Bank. So I'm kind of easy to find.
All right.
Okay, yay.
And where do we send our resume if we're looking for
Yeah.
jobs? Because I want to be able to sell mortgage from here in Toronto for Sagicor. So
Certainly, you can go online, Sagicor Bank, and you can make your request there.
all right, good stuff, good stuff.
Make sure people don't say anything. We're gonna be all of a sudden like, oh, so where are you today, Camille? Huh? I'm in Toronto, aka Jamaica, and everything.
And this was definitely a great conversation. Thank you, Paulette
Yes.
and Ingrid, for joining the Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast and sharing some incredible information. And I
Yes.
think I'm a lot more knowledgeable about the process. Even though I've been through the process myself, I think I myself have learned so much today. And I will tell you, listeners,
Mhm.
near or far, that you're definitely in good hands working with Paulette and Ingrid. I think it was by luck or fate or whatever you want to call it that I ran into Paulette, and Paulette connected us with Ingrid, but definitely incredible team of people to be working with.
Nice.
And Camille, I'll turn it over to you, the host.
All right. Ladies, it was an honor. And I just want to back up the mortgage insurance. That's very important, especially if you can't get like life insurance. So I'm glad you ladies did discuss that. And I'm gonna give like a little tip. I believe next week is Life Insurance Awareness Day. So I'm just giving the listeners a little tip of what we may be talking about. And it was an honor, like again, two lovely ladies in the game, the real estate and mortgage game. So we appreciate you. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow them. We're gonna put all the information on the YouTube live information, and also we're gonna add your IG on Instagram as well. So this is a great opportunity for people to, invest. Even after this madness that happens, we'll still have a chance to build generational wealth and invest and get that, capital gains income or rental income.
And the beautiful beachfront with a back
Yes, we need more sun. It literally snowed here on Wednesday, and I was
know,
like,
that was crazy.
oh, so we want sunshine. So anywhere I can get sunshine, I want.
All year round.
As you touch that topic, I'm getting a lot of returning residents looking to purchase property here in Jamaica along the North Coast. A lot of developments are happening, and they're being bought by the returning residents, primarily returning residents.
Ooh, question, because we here we just had a budget, and they were discussing about people that are not Canadian residents or permanent residents having to pay extra taxes. Will that be happening for foreigners or foreigners, let's say? Like, will there be additional tax when it comes to buying a property? That's an additional one.
Ingrid?
No,
Oh,
nothing like
Yeah.
that. Nothing. No, there's no barriers to entry.
All
Jamaica.
right.
okay.
That's
People,
good.
that just
Definitely.
gives us more incentives.
Yeah, and you know, one of the important things, I know for returning resident, as for everybody, is trust. Having a team of people that you can work with that you trust. And for me personally, I don't give my I mean accreditation, if you want to call it that. But I know for sure that Ingrid and Paulette, we are in good hands working with both these women. Let me tell you, Paulette go above and beyond on many occasions, right? And the crazy part is that she's not doing it because of she trying to get any gains or anything. Because I remember when I said, can I offer you? She said, no, man, it's okay. I love what I do, like, So
Yeah.
and I think that stood out the most to me, right? And things I wish I knew about money. We certify, if you want to call it that,
Yes,
Paulette and
certified. Woo,
Ingrid,
woo.
and
Certified.
Sajikura and the work that they do. So reach out to them people and own a piece of paradise.
And it's absolutely true because Andre, like I would see Andre's statuses on WhatsApp, Facebook, and he praised you so much. So we want to call you
Thank
ladies like the queen of real estate and the queen of mortgage. So it's an honor for you ladies to be on here. So I just hope
Definitely.
everyone, subscribes, share it with a friend or anyone that's looking to get property in paradise, aka Jamaica. And yeah, and it's just a blessing for you ladies to be on here. And I just feel like now that you are part of our family and stuff, and that just leaves us with our song.
Yep. And it's a Jamaican, the man himself. Family.
Hey.
Oh, we said
Popcorn.
Awesome, awesome,
Awesome.
awesome. Thank you so very much for having us and providing this platform where we can connect with persons in the diaspora, persons as far as Russia.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yep.
thank you for
Yes,
providing
absolutely.
that platform, and thank you very much for having us.
No
Definitely.
problem.
We're
Definitely.
absolutely grateful.
Nice.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Bless. And then we can stop the live, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think you have to make me the host. So.
Host? Hold on. Oh yeah, because you made me host again.
Yeah.
Hold on. Bloopers.
We